everybody. Thanks for listening to Off Your Flosser podcast. We are brought to you in part by the Auto Flosser.
The easy solution to a complex problem. I think I just made it more complex than it needed to be. Dexterity issues, access, you can't see what's going on. Auto Flosser, and go auto floss yourself. Get that tip right underneath the edge of the bridge. Zippity zap underneath the ortho brackets. I'm doing a lot of hand talking here. And
you're voguing, actually.
Totally,
yes.
Right? There you go.
Give it to your patients. Put it in their hands. Show them how to use it. Become an ambassador.
And the bottom line is, we got to keep our patients flossing and looking good and staying healthy, and makes our hygiene jobs easier, makes maintenance a breeze.
Yes.
Everybody wins. There's really no downside, except the 5 minutes it's going to take you to look at the video. So check out the link in the description. Guys, thank you so much. And go auto floss yourself.
Go auto floss yourselves.
Boom.
Holly's here.
Hey, good morning.
How are you, Holly?
I'm good. I'm testing out this new microphone today.
I was about to say, what kind of mic is that? That looks delicious.
El gato? That's...
Ooh.
That means cat.
Yes.
In Italian.
It's the cat.
It's Spanish.
Ooh. Do you know Carol Baskins?
Feed the pets.
Hey, all you cool cats and kittens.
Let's get this kitty rocking. Yeah. Is it too hot? Can you hear me okay?
Or... No, you sound good.
You're way too hot. Good. No, I'm just kidding.
Too hot.
Well, thank you.
That's a Saturday morning compliment. It'll take me through the whole day. It's great.
Cool. Yeah, like I haven't even showered, so we're good. It is video, but my video is so horrible, I don't even have to worry about it.
Yeah. Holly, I was having a little a touch of scurvy this morning, and until you showed up with your background, and I think
thank you for the vitamin C.
I'm all vitamin C'd up. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
On, we'll remember vitamin C. Anybody? Graduation song.
Yeah.
Is that what it is? I didn't know the name.
Yeah. Yeah.
So in hygiene school, you know how, like, I don't know if you guys are like this, but when you have things that you have to remember, we would make up these little deals to remember things. So what we said is C, you go to the C and get scurvy. Got me through my board exam. So.
And that's all that matters really, is if you pass the test.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, because then you forget everything after and you're fine.
You're right.
That's where the term limey came in.
Who needs education?
Did you know that?
Oh, yeah.
Because they would give them like a shot of whiskey or something and a little slice of lime just to sort of keep the scurvies at bay.
The lime and the coconut.
You're welcome.
I'll never be the same, Sandy. I'll never be the same.
Now you'll remember.
It's I kind of want to know what she meant by that, but I don't want to know.
But there you go.
My coaching process, because I went through my life coaching certification, there's a process of questions, and for me to remember it was McDonald's Egg McMuffins can withstand nuclear holocaust.
Dude,
they can.
That's delicious and true at the same time.
True.
You know?
So roaches will have something to eat. So before we get too far, we need to introduce our guest, and this is episode 141 Off Your Flosser podcast, and we have an amazing guest today, Holly Ann Mitchell. She is a speaker, a coach, a hypnotist, and she is heading up the Dental Avengers, which is going to have an event. We're going to get into this interview and go through some of that. Welcome to OYF. We're glad you're here.
I'm so glad to be here.
Yes,
I'm ready for the diversion from all of the craziness and all of the stress. Let's have some fun.
Yeah, that's
what we do. It's good to see you again. Thanks for coming and getting up early. What time is it where you are? Where are you?
8 o'clock. I'm in Nashville, Tennessee.
Oh, okay. You're not too far then.
It's 8 o'clock here. Weird.
Yeah. Well, it's 9 here in Atlanta, so 9-ish.
What are you? So is she like halfway between us, Carlos?
Nashville's north of here. I mean, it's about a 4-hour drive.
So it's like a triangle.
Yeah, it's like a it's like a 4-hour drive. If I go this way, and you go this way, Holly will be there at 12 o'clock.
You know,
or a Bermuda Triangle, and we're all getting lost in it.
That is appropriate. It is appropriate.
Where would
this.
that train, like if we all took off right now, where would we intersect?
I feel like if Holly just stood there, we would meet her in Nashville.
Yeah, and Nashville's kind of cool. So.
Music City.
I know.
Right here, baby.
You're into that. You did you do music theater, Broadway type stuff, right?
Yeah, I was a musical theater major in college.
Nice.
That was my jam. That was me, and I'm still playing Broadway musicals in the car, like singing my heart out.
Oh yeah.
But the music I write now is probably more Fleetwood Mac-ish, very lyrical, that kind of vibe. My boyfriend's a music producer for electronic music, which I call beep beep boop boop.
Oh.
And
beep beep boop boop.
Beep beep boop boop. And I sing melodies
sense.
on top of the beep beep boop boop. And it sounds pretty cool.
Do you know who Mark, I think it's pronounced Rebier?
No.
Dude, he's a lunatic who's a genius. And he makes beats and improvises songs off the top. And I mean, he curses. I mean, it's adult rated show, but he does these live streams where he wears like real funky bathrobes and stuff. Sometimes he's shirtless in his underwear. But they're incredibly catchy, and the lyrics he comes up with are just off the top and just ridiculous. And I bought tickets to go see him in November, like a maniac. So
I love musical improv. I took classes in musical improv. I did some musical improv shows where you make a musical on the spot. My favorite song I ever wrote on stage in a musical improv show was someone yelled out taco. And so the music starts, right? And so instead of just doing an improv, you're creating a song.
So you don't know what song, well, music is coming. It just starts.
It just starts, and you're like, here we go.
It's like Wayne Brady style.
Yeah, exactly. So this was a song I wrote. It's time for tacos. It's time for tacos. It's time for taco Tuesday. It's time for tacos. It's time for tacos. It's time for taco Tuesday.
And was it Tuesday?
Wow.
It was Wednesday.
But that's about the truest thing I think I've ever heard. It's always time for tacos.
It is always Taco Tuesday.
Carlos.
It
is. It is.
It's hard to argue against that. I got a couple taco spots here in Atlanta that are pretty damn good.
It's also always time for Thirsty Thursday. So, cheers.
Cheers to that.
Are you sipping anything this morning, Miss Holly?
I have a cafecito segundo coming my way in just a moment. I have in-house tech support and personal chef. I'm a very lucky girl.
Bravo.
Hello.
Bravo.
Excuse me. I need me one of those.
Yeah. Send them. Well, the tech part, yes. John's a sous chef, so I don't have to worry about that. So, but tech support, yes.
Because I'm a disaster when it comes to objects. I'm really good with humans, but things, it's broken, and I just want to throw it away.
So you grab a hammer and.
Did you charge it? Is that what I needed to do?
Did you turn it off? Wait 20 seconds, then turn it back on.
Did you shake it and put it in rice?
I know, right?
My worst fear right now is the little toilet apparatus here is it's wicked. Like, I don't know, it's evil or something. But my worst fear is that my phone falls into it.
So are you
afraid? I never see it again.
Are you afraid of the disgusting part, or that the toilet is evil and it's like a ghost or a portal to hell?
No, well, it is a portal to hell. There's no lying there. But
it's not an exaggeration.
But I'm worried about my phone falling into whatever exists down there.
Yes, I would be afraid of that too. I've had to work through a lot of phobias in my years as a hypnotist. Some of them I've kept just because I find them entertaining. But I've overcome a lot of fears. Oh my gosh, I have so many fears. And I think
want to go through that. What's one of your please.
Okay.
With a
Yeah,
couple-
let's
I got
dive,
a couple
let's
dumb ones
dive right
too.
into this. Let's dive into the hypnotist part because this intrigues me like crazy. And apparently, like Carlos and I are gonna use you to get skinny. So
Let's
let's
do
hear
it.
all about this.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
We
Okay.
want to
So
look like
second
you
session,
next time we do this.
we can put it on Off Your Flosser
Carlos,
if you want, but we'll set up a session and we'll do group hypnosis, and
Ooh.
it'll be weight loss hypnosis, or we'll dive deep on that for sure.
And I need to stop picking my nails because it drives John crazy. Can you do that too?
Absolutely. Any habit. Yeah.
What?
Well, here's the thing about habits is there's always a
Okay.
positive intention behind the habit. It needs something. It wants something for you. So even if the
Okay.
consequence is bad, right, there's something that you're trying to get. So if your creative unconscious can find a new way to get that need met, you don't need that habit anymore. And it goes away on its own. So that's something
So
to
the
explore in
guy-
hypnosis.
So the guy that habitually cheats on his wife, there's a positive somewhere?
There's something that he is needing, a core need, which is it's not a malicious need. It's safety, it's love, it's maybe a little bit of variety. Who knows? There might be something. I don't know.
Gee, am I gonna have Diet Coke or Coke Zero today?
And then suddenly, he's not a hound doggy. But there's
Wow.
always a good reason
that.
underneath.
Okay, so tell us what your the phobia that you love that you're never gonna give up.
Oh, okay. So let's see. Some phobias that I have had in the past: fear of ceiling fans crashing on me in the night while I'm asleep.
Yes.
Fear of hair dryers. My hair getting stuck in the hair dryer and catching on fire.
Oh gosh.
Or dropping the hair dryer into some kind of body of water and being electrocuted to death.
Okay, because that's on all the movies all the
That's
time.
a very specific fear.
Many of my fears are very specific.
Very specific.
Okay.
Well,
On
okay.
Tuesday
I
around
think
3 in the
anxiety-
afternoon.
I think anxiety is a superpower, because most people who are creatives, I mean, if you think about it, artists, actors, musicians, there's always something a little out of control there.
They're a little off somewhere.
Yeah.
But you know what? There's a portal, not a portal to hell, but there's a portal that's open there.
Because that's my toilet. Okay.
Exactly. But it allows them access to something beyond, right, what's real. And I
Yes.
think it's that creativity, that your anxiety is your mind's amazing imaginative capacity to dream up all of the horrible worst case scenarios. I used to think about this when I was lying in bed.
Yeah.
I couldn't agree with you more.
Yeah.
I know a ton of comics that are hilarious, but they're kind of depressed. You know what I mean? Like if we off stage, we have, or they're, like I used to be
OCD and stuff
little
like that.
introverty. You know what I mean? Like once I get off stage, I just want to sit in the corner and just mind my own business type of thing sometimes, But if I'm with my buddies, it's a different story. But it's so I've gotten comfortable with being uncomfortable around people. But the most uncomfortable used to be getting on stage, but now it's probably where I'm most comfortable, if that makes any sense. I really enjoy it, and I love the attention, and I don't know what that says about me, but but there's an exchange there.
Yeah.
You give me
There's
attention.
energy.
Yeah, and then I try to make you laugh. So I feel
Right.
like it's pretty fair, right? Would you say that?
I think Carlos has the best job in the world, personally. That he gets to. I mean, really, for however long he's on stage, people totally forget about everything else, and they can just sit and they can enjoy themselves and laugh. And I mean, I guess the podcast is the same way, because I mean, it doesn't take any brain power at all to listen to this, or yeah. So,
Well, I'm afraid of going on stage too, but I love that fear. Like I love the feeling of what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Oh my God, do I know how to do this? And then afterwards you feel so great. So that's probably a fear that I don't want to give up. The thing is,
Right.
how do you manage your nervous system? Not necessarily get rid of the fear, because the fear is telling
Right.
you that you're growing, that you're being challenged, that you are stepping out of your comfort zone, that this is important to you. But how do you regulate your nervous system enough that you can still perform and you can still be you and on when you're in that environment?
Right.
Let me ask you something, Holly.
Yeah.
You're a singer, right?
Yes.
Okay. So, and you perform, right? So, like when you go on stage, are you nervous till you start singing, or till after the first song, or when does this kind of subside and you sort of go with the flow?
I find that as soon as I make sound, my body calms down.
Okay.
Like there's something about the breathing, like the diaphragmatic breathing of singing. As soon as I take that first breath and make that first sound, I drop right into the zone and I'm good.
Yeah.
But right up until that moment, it's
me
just
too.
like
I feel you.
roller coaster at the top of it.
I feel like it's the build up that is the worst. Like everything in your mind is saying, "Oh my gosh, what if I do this? What if I do this? Or what happens if I freeze up?" You know, all these things. What if I forget everything I practiced? And then once you get up there and it starts just going, that it's almost like a downhill slide. And then
and you're having
and then
fun,
you're fine.
and it's just you hopefully that they're having fun. So
Yeah, you're feeling alive. So I love that. I love that fear. That's the kind of fear that drives me.
how about you, Sandy? What kind of irrational fears do you have? We
I
already
feel
heard
like
about
mine
the
are
phone thing.
about the what?
The phone thing, dropping the phone in the.
Yeah, that hopefully that doesn't happen. But mine are probably more mainstream. Like I have a fear of drowning. Like so, if there's a body of water that I can't see under, then I imagine this Loch Ness monster type thing who's out to get me. That type of fear. But I feel like that's a lot of people have that.
It's very primal.
And then
Survival.
Yeah. I mean, pretty much. I'm trying to think like
Well,
I don't know.
When you were
Like-
a kid, did you have? So I had this fear when I was a child that there was always a boogeyman, and that if he lived at the edge of
Oh.
my bed, and so if
Yeah.
I put my feet all the way out while I was sleeping, that he
Yes.
would grab me and he would pull me down into another dimension under
Yeah.
through the edge of my bed,
The-
and so
the
I
du-
always.
Right.
Slept with my feet curled
Yes.
up so that he couldn't grab my feet while I was sleeping.
Well, that
I
dude
could
used to
not
stop by
sleep
my
with my-
house.
Yeah.
I used to jump into bed so he wouldn't grab my ankles.
To avoid it.
That's
yeah.
the dumbest shit in the world. But you know what I mean? Now you're like, what?
I
But at the time,
don't
bro,
let
it was real as hell.
It was very real. So still today, as an adult, I am slightly afraid of the dark, but I feel like I have a good handle on that, like because I'm very good at. I've always been very good at self-soothing, I call it, and self-rationalizing. So up until that point, I envisioned ghosts in the corner where it's dark and monsters just trying to get me, and then I would, as an adult, this is kind of lame, and then I would take my dog outside and it was like pitch black and I always felt something was coming after me, so I'd rush back inside, things like that. But I also had the under the bed type thing, because I would not let my hand hang over the bed. You know how you see people like they're just conked out sleeping and their arms like hanging off the bed? Yeah, that's not me.
Yeah, what
it
are you,
has to be on the
nuts? Who
bed
does that?
because I'm safer there.
Well, I always had, and I still have, irrational stranger danger, like serious stranger danger. Like if I get on
Yeah.
an elevator and somebody goes, "Hello," I'm like, "Who are you? What do you want?"
You know,
Wait,
honestly,
And you
that's,
hide your
that's-
purse and stuff.
That's not a bad idea nowadays, man.
Well, especially online dating. Oh my
Carlos.
God. I was
There's a lot
like,
of
how am I
crazy people
supposed to
is
go
what I'm
out there and
saying.
meet
Dangerous
strangers?
people.
This was horrible.
I don't know how
Trying
you
to
do
do
it.
the apps. I would tell my friends exactly where I was. I was like sharing my location. I was like, you guys, if I don't text you in 15 minutes, this is where I'm at. Call the police. That was the most
IP
horrible
address
anxiety.
is this.
Yes.
Take pictures of the dude's license plate. I totally would. You know
Oh,
what
yeah.
I mean?
Yeah.
Oh,
I
yeah.
Carry a
did.
gun. If I was a chick, dude, I would be like super paranoid. I don't know how women do it, seriously, because 90% of the dangerous things that happen to women is because of some men, not all of them. You know what I mean?
Well, my dad was in law enforcement.
All the good guys have to put up with all the crap from all the
Ooh.
maniacs. You know what I'm saying? But there's a lot of creepy dudes. So I don't know what the answer is. But be careful. Just be
carrying
careful.
a taser.
My dad, from the time I could talk, made me afraid of every man in the world. Like, well, Florida. I grew up in Florida, which is the serial killer capital of the world. Fun fact.
Oh, go Florida.
Go Florida. Also the lightning capital of the world. But he made me afraid of every van. I watched those Unsolved Mysteries, America's Most Wanted, Dateline, just, oh my gosh, is this going to happen to me? So those are the kind of fears that I probably still have, but I find them more entertaining and somewhat logical and protective.
So have you gotten to a point where you can override that? Like, you rationally think this is not real, simmer down, like, you know what I mean?
Well, I try to get in touch with the part of myself that is afraid and find out, okay, this fear, there's a reason for it. What do you need to feel safe? And what do we want? What is the outcome that we're looking for? And so I have a lot of tools to just regulate my nervous system from an external purpose, like tapping on acupressure points or self-hugging. If you've ever seen me do havening, which is a technique that they use for people with PTSD or trauma. And so those types of things can definitely regulate your nervous system. Certain foods,
that's awesome.
Epsom salt baths, whatever I needed to get calm. Cake,
tacos,
tacos, dopamine. In moderation.
Oh, dang! She said the M word.
Hey, we lost Holly.
That's why we need
Holly?
you.
Moderation.
Oh, did she just? Oh, whoops. She said the M word. Bleep it out.
So it sounds like you're in tune with emotions, fears, thoughts, on how to manage stressful situations. Is that what led you to the whole wanting to be the source to go to in dentistry for mental health?
The dental Avenger.
Yeah, I think that this journey of mine, it's been a pretty crazy, wild, and wacky journey, going from being an actress to being homeless in New York to taking a job at a dental office and working my way from a front desk to a C-suite, quitting that job, starting my own business. It's been me leaping from one area in a terrifying fit of panic and hope to another.
Oh yeah.
But I've learned through my own struggles and crises with my own mental health, really what led me down this path of personal development was a crisis. I had a burnout when I was 29 years old. My body started to shut down from stress. I was having panic attacks on a daily basis, super depressed, and going, is this my life? Like, is this all there is? I have to do this every day.
Yeah.
And so a friend of mine actually invited me to go to a summer camp for adults, like a kids summer camp, but for adults. And
that's awesome.
And he said, I don't know why, but I thought this would be for you because of your theater background. You might like it. And I was like, all right, why not?
That
I'll
actually
say
sounds
yes.
like a lot of fun.
Yeah. And I needed fun. I didn't have any at that time.
Yeah. Did you have bunk beds?
We did have bunk beds. It was at an actual kids camp in upstate New York. So I go there and it's a digital detox. So you have to check all of your technology. And actually, when you get off the bus, they have these people in hazmat suits that are taking your tech from you. And then they take you through a naming ceremony because you're not supposed to be. Yeah, you're supposed to rename yourself, something that reminds you of your childhood. Naming, yeah.
I thought you said maiming. I was like, what do they do to you? Oh my gosh.
It's a thorough camp. Yeah, you come out changed. It's transformational.
With hot sticks.
So,
okay,
digital
naming ceremony.
detox.
Okay, got it.
And
Digital
you
detox.
rename yourself.
You rename yourself because you're a kid for 4 days. You're not an adult. You can't talk about work or what your age is. So you have to name
What
yourself.
was your name?
My name was Pocket. And there are
Pocket?
people to this
Like
day
Polly?
that only know me as Pocket. Yeah. So when I was a kid,
Wow.
they had those
Yeah.
little Polly Pocket dolls, little blonde, teeny tiny
I had one.
dolls.
Pocket.
And when I got on the bus, they called me Holly Pocket when I was in kindergarten. And so I renamed myself Pocket for the Polly Pocket dolls. Holly Pocket.
Nice. I used to have one. I had one. Yeah.
When we all meet up again, remind me to tell you my my pocket joke, which I'm not going to go into now. So
Okay. I'll put that in my back.
Put it in your pocket.
Pocket.
Yeah.
Put it in your pocket.
Got to
Anyway.
pick a pocket. So I go through this weekend. We go out into the woods. We have this silent meditation in the woods, and you go out for a walk by yourself for an hour. And I had never meditated before. I was always like type A, I grew up conservative Florida. Like meditation was for hippies or Buddhists or, I don't know.
Smoke it up, buddy.
Smoke a toke. So I didn't know what I was doing, but I was like, yeah, I'm here. I'm having the experience. So I go out in the woods for an hour, and they gave us an envelope, and they said, open the envelope when the time is right. And so I go and find a rock, and I sit on the rock, and I open this envelope, and it says, what do you need to let go of? And I was like, I fast forwarded my life.
Everything.
I saw everything. If I didn't make any changes right now, what my life would be like in 5 and 10 years. And I realized that the childlike part of me would just disappear, and I would lose joy. And so I decided in that moment that I was going to change everything. I was going to focus on my health and my happiness. And I took 3 weeks off of work and enrolled in a level 1 neurolinguistic programming course to fix my brain, because I was reading a book by Tony Robbins at the time, who's an NLP practitioner. And it changed my brain. It changed my life. It led me to hypnosis. And all I wanted to do was share these tools with people, because I always thought, oh, I'm just anxious. That's who I am. There's nothing I can do. My dad was anxious. My brother was anxious. It's just who we are, and we got to work around it. But there are things that you can do to prevent it, right? The mental health is a spectrum, just like dentistry. You have prevention, and then you have emergency crisis intervention. But knowing what those tools are can really change your experience of being and bring so much joy to each and every day. Because I find that in dentistry, we often delay joy. Like we're like, oh, when I go on vacation, or Friday at 5 o'clock, like, let me just like white knuckle my way through this week, through this quarter, through this year.
If I can only get to Friday. Yes.
Absolutely. Can you explain in a couple sentences what that neurolinguistic programming is, just for people that don't know?
Sure. So neurolinguistic programming was studied by a school of psychologists in the 1970s. And they found that your brain is like a computer, and you actually can program your brain.
Totally is.
Yeah, mine's like an old IBM from the 80s.
It's like a Game Boy.
Takes up a whole
black
room.
and white Game Boy.
Mine is like a traffic controller. It's like pew, 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 pew.
Everybody just stop.
Don't crash into each other.
Oh my gosh, yes.
But that your brain is programmed. So this is the cool thing about hypnosis. Hypnosis is just a state in your brain where frequencies are at theta, which is a slower brainwave pattern. And if you hooked yourself up to an EEG machine, you could see this on the machine. And children ages 0 to 7 are in a constant state of hypnosis. Because when your brain is in this slower brainwave pattern, everything goes right in as a direct command or suggestion to your unconscious mind, and it programs you. So if you can learn how to get into the state, which is like meditation, but it's a little bit deeper, because meditation is alpha, it's a little bit faster than theta. But if you can learn how to get down into these slower brainwaves, the same brainwaves that children are in, you can make changes that are lasting and really, really fast and effective.
Wow.
That's why hypnosis works.
I need some theta
That
in
is
my life.
Interesting. Yeah, we need some theta. We need to start a hashtag, get some theta in your life or something.
Get that theta.
Ugh.
So in neurolinguistic programming, what we're doing is we're using language and visualization, because the unconscious the unconscious communicates. You can talk to your unconscious through visual imagery, through symbols, through language, because the words that you use to describe your reality reinforce the neurochemistry that tells you whether you're having a good day or a bad day, right? You're either wearing rose-colored glasses or you're not, right? Or you know, poop-colored glasses. So and the language that you use, and that's what they found, was neuro-linguistic programming. They're taking the brain, they're taking language and imagery to reprogram your mindset, how you're describing your reality, so that you can change the neurochemistry. And when you can change the neurochemistry, you can influence yourself to a better state of mind and heal.
That's deep, man.
Yeah,
cool.
it's,
I never thought about it like that before.
It sounds scientific. Like, somebody told me one time, if you're having trouble sleeping, look up binaural beats on YouTube or whatever. So I started listening, and oh my gosh, like I think I slept better that night than I had in a long time. And I was like, what is this? So the thing is, with the first time I tried it, I was fully awake and I wasn't going to sleep. It was like the middle of the day, and I was like, this is like techno music, but really bad. Like, what is this? And then I just slept to it, and it was a game changer. So, yeah, there's something to it.
Well, the way that it works is you're in the music, the sounds, it's really just noise. It's playing two different frequencies of noise in either ear. So you have to listen to it with headphones in for the most effect. But as it's doing this, what it's changing the brain waves inside of your brain. So it slows your brain waves down because it's got these two patterns, and it kind of interrupts whatever pattern was going on in your brain and slows your brain waves down. And so you can choose on the binaural beats, you can choose if you want to be in alpha state, which is what people call flow state. So you're focused, you're not distracted, you're more relaxed, the kind of place you would be in mindfulness meditation. Or you can access theta or even delta in some of the which is REM sleep. Delta waves are where you're at when you're sleeping.
Someone told me recently, like last weekend, I was at a state at a thing with Dr. Gupta, or his event, right? And I got into a conversation with someone about this particular thing where you can, and it was to calm people down in order to give injections and stuff in a dental office. Is that, are you familiar with that? I mean, you know what it is.
Say more, yeah.
But it's the same.
Is it the Newcom?
Oh, is it Newcom?
Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah. I can't remember the name, but yes, I think that's it.
Newcom.
Yeah, Newcom uses. Well, I've never actually used it, but I understand that they use a combination of sensory and auditory to change the brain waves to slow them down. Is that right, Sandy?
Yeah. So it comes in. There's a little kit, and it has the biofeedback disc, or the I forget what it's called, but it's a little disc, and you put it on the inside of your wrist, and then you have headphones, and then you have it's almost like a sleep mask. It's like dark, and then you listen to this, and it's almost like the YouTube theta beats or whatever that I would listen to. So it's along those lines, which I've already experienced, but you add in the pitch black, and then I don't know what the wrist thing does because I'm really bad at reading instructions, but
it's a pressure point or something.
Yeah, so yeah, right? It's very specific about where you put it on your wrist, so it's got to be something like that. Yeah.
That kind of stuff, like I've always been a guinea pig. I'll try anything to see how it makes me feel. And I literally have tried everything to see if it works for me. I've changed my diet. I've changed my exercise routine. I've tried healing, sound healing, Reiki, acupuncture, you name it, to figure out how to hack my nervous system and my brain, because you are a different you when you have that calm body, that focused mind. You are a superhero. It's pretty cool.
Speaking of superhero, and hashtags, we have the Capes on 2021 hashtag. Can you give us just a little tidbit of the Capes on 2021 and what's behind it? And then you also you're putting together the Mental Wellness Summit for the Dental Avengers. Let's talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, so Dental Avengers is a movement for mental health in the dental industry. Now, before COVID, there was always this rumor going around that dentists are among the most likely to commit suicide of any professions.
Right.
And there are studies that say that that's true, and studies that say that that's not quite true. But for the most part, the dental industry is a very stressed out industry before COVID. If you've ever worked in a dental office like me, you know this is true. So we were already stressed out, and then since the pandemic, the numbers have gone up crazy amounts. 460% increase of anxiety and depression in the dental industry since the pandemic began. And so last year for me was a year of intense work, and I was super burnt out at the end of the year. And so I was feeling the stress, and I was thinking about everybody else in our industry and how can we help? So I basically called all my friends together, said, we're the mental health Avengers for this dental industry. What can we do to help? And we decided that we were going to create this event and this community called the Dental Avengers for Mental Wellness, dentalavengers.com.
Right.
If you want to check it out, it's going to be amazing. So our first event is going to be virtual. And you both are emceeing, which I'm so excited about.
Yeah, it's going to be fun, off the chain.
Yeah, I can't wait. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Well, my vision for this is really this event becomes something that everybody has on their calendar every year because they know, it's going to feel so good. I'm going to get nourished, body, mind, spirit. Gosh, yes. I can press a reset button this weekend. I want to go every single year. And it's everybody, no matter who you are, you've been touched by this, whether it's yourself or somebody that you love, somebody that you know. So it's time.
I would imagine just worldwide, or just across the country, not just dentistry, just depression, anxiety, insomnia, all kinds of things have gone up. 2020 was super stressful. Yeah, people lost family members. Families were torn apart. You couldn't see grandma and grandpa. So I can't imagine the level of stress that the average person is on, let alone a business person like a dentist or whoever. So just I think everybody needs to laugh a little bit more, and I feel like I talk about myself a lot, but we got into it. I was performing last weekend, and I go, it makes me feel good to make other people laugh, and if I can help you, like you were saying, Sandy, if I can make you forget about whatever is bothering you for an hour, then that's kind of like my superpower, if you will. You know what I mean? So I just like to be able to do that for people. So I think there's not just our silly behinds are going to be there, but there's going to be all kinds of amazing speakers there talking about all kinds of things. You want to touch on a couple of those, or?
Yeah, we've got 3 tracks of education. So there's 15 hours of continuing education here. And nice. We wanted to make it super affordable so that as many people who could come and join and take part in this and get the benefit will. So we've got talks about the brain and brain health, really nerdy stuff. Then we've got wellness, right? Full body. We've got some yoga. We've got musical guests. So we're going to get that multisensory dopamine action going. And then one thing that's really unique about our conference was we felt it was important to create programming that was family friendly so we could bring these conversations home around the dinner table, because it's not just the dental professionals who have been suffering, but it's also people in their family. I've spoken to many people in the industry, and their teenagers, their young adults in their family are super depressed, having suicidal thoughts. And these are classes and courses, activities, workshops that will help start a positive conversation and just give people tools and resources, no matter where they are on the spectrum, right? Do they need a Band-Aid in the mental health toolkit,
or a tourniquet?
A tourniquet.
A tourniquet.
Yeah. It happens. We'll all throughout our whole life be at some point on that spectrum. And so that's really what being an Avenger is about, right? Sometimes you are the caped crusader and you have resources that you can provide to help someone else. And sometimes the best way to be an Avenger is to avenge for yourself, to help yourself.
I've said that's like the oxygen mask. Like, you have to be okay to help others, because and you know, Carlos and I were involved in another similar type thing, but in those types of situations, if you have a patient that comes in and they're just having a very off day, and they start confiding in you or talking to you about their problems, it could trigger something in you. So you can't help them if you're being triggered, and you can't like focus on what they're saying and you know, offer some sort of feedback, you know, even if it's just, I'm listening, I see you, I hear you. So yeah, it's definitely, let's take care of us so we can take care of them.
I am leading this charge, but this is a message that I need to hear every single day too, because
Yes.
I fall victim to it all the time, right? That entrepreneurial, there's always a to-do list that's longer than your arm, and it just keeps growing and growing. And you
Oh,
want to
yes.
help and you're passionate about what you do, but that fire, that passion can burn you up if you don't keep
Oh,
it under
yes.
control.
You got to point it away from you.
Yes.
Like
It's
some
like
of
that,
those directions say, point away from you.
like that emotional intelligence. Like, you know, I like to feel that, you know, myself and Zane, I'm sure you're in tune with other people's feelings, and you can tell when somebody's
I'm very
not
like,
100% right.
it's,
And sometimes it
yeah,
becomes overwhelming for me. I have to pull back just to protect myself, you know what I mean? Because I'm a little
right.
bit of, you know,
Yeah.
on the super, I don't know what you want to call it, an empath, or on the emotional. I don't know what it is, but I can get caught up in, you know, in some sadness, you know, with other people's
Yeah.
things. So, yeah, you got to
You got to
take care of
set up
yourself.
boundaries.
You got to take care of yourself, because
Yeah.
if
And
you're
doing
not good,
fun.
you can't help anybody else. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah. And sometimes it's just small things like, you know, finding a moment of joy, not taking yourself so seriously, which is why I love you guys and what you're doing. You know, listen to this podcast, or, you know, go watch a scary movie. That is, for somebody who struggled with anxiety their whole life, I freaking love horror movies. They
Do you
just
really?
make me smile.
How does that didn't go together? What are you talking?
It doesn't go together. I love ghosts. No, I legit love ghosts. And like, if I think I'm around a ghost, like I want to help the ghost, because I feel like, you know, there's a reason that
Yes. There's a
so
reason they're here.
there's a reason they're here, right? Like, since my father passed, sometimes like things fall off the wall that are his, and I'm like, Dad, you here? Hey, Dad, how you doing? Like, I love ghosts. But
Yeah.
I love scary movies, and I always have. I think it helps me feel like I'm building my resilience, because if I can survive this movie,
Oh, yeah.
I can
Like,
can
you're
survive in
conditioning
life.
yourself.
I freaking love scary movies with subtitles, like scary movies from other countries.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Like
If
that
you've
series of
ever,
movies with the wet Japanese girl that came out of the well with the
Yeah.
hair down. What was that?
Ring. The
The
ring.
The Ring.
dude.
Yeah.
So for me, my favorites
Ugh.
are, there's this movie called High Tension. It's a French horror movie.
Oh.
Haute Tension, si tu parles français. And
Sandy?
Funny Games, which is a German horror movie. And if German wasn't scary enough, put it in a
Right.
horror movie, and that stuff is scary. What I can't watch is some of these Korean horror movies and Japanese horror movies that are so twisted. Like, if you've ever seen Audition, don't watch it. Please don't watch it. I had to close my
Audition?
eyes like 95%
Great.
of that movie.
Well,
Too much.
there's something with the way American movies are shot, and don't quote me. I think it's how movies pan from left to right, where the Japanese movies pan the opposite direction. So that's why
And
they're
that's scarier.
More
it's
scary?
scarier. Yeah, because it's you don't expect it. It unfolds in a way where your mind's not used to seeing it.
Like, whoa, buddy.
I think I read that somewhere, and that might be complete horseshit.
That's
I don't know,
fascinating.
but I think that's something to do with how the directors there shoot their movies is in a different style.
That's crazy.
Does
And
that
that's
make
why
sense?
it's so uncomfortable.
Yeah, because you're like, what's
Yes.
going on? Yeah.
You're going this
Yeah.
way. What, you're supposed to go that way.
No. I want to look around the corner here. No, there's a guy standing right there.
Do you guys have any favorite monsters or scary people, scary characters?
You know,
Not really. Like, I can't. My thing is I can't watch movies that are like satanic-ish. Like the movie
Possessions and
Heredity.
stuff.
I couldn't do it. Like it was so like evil. You know what I mean? So I had to turn it off.
It's a little
But
too close, too real, too much.
well, yeah, like I mean, cause like I'm Christian, like very. I feel like I'm close to God, and then you put me in that kind of situation where I'm watching this stuff, and I'm just like,
Supposed to feel icky.
But yeah, like yeah, it gives you this oogie, like gross feeling, and I just have to turn it off. But scary movies, they increase the scaredy cat in me of the dark, so. I have to watch them with John awake. There was one time I was watching a ghost movie, like it was based on a true story type stuff, you know, and John was asleep. That wasn't good enough. He had to be awake or else I would get scared. Like I was looking in the corner like, oh God, I can't look. It was bad.
I like to watch them alone, and then when it gets too intense, I'll press pause and I'll jump up and I'll be like, okay.
We need a video of that, please.
I'm the odd one out. In my house, the everybody loves scary movies, and I don't really care for them, you know. But I would go, and it's the surprise. It's not really that it's scary. It's just a surprise when something jumps out of a closet.
I like the jump. Yeah.
So I'd sit with my daughter, and we would hold hands, and then she would jump all over the place, and it would get me going. You know what I mean? Or I would do it, and she would just
that's awesome.
ball up, and it was just fun for her to get scared, and I don't know why.
Yeah.
But I like the scary movies where they're kind of like cartoonish, almost like Constantine or the stupid Leprechaun
like
movies.
A lot of CGI and stuff.
You know what I mean? Where they're kind of cheesy, you know, that kind of thing.
Oh yeah.
And like Jason, Freddy, all that stuff doesn't scare me. What scares me is like true crime stuff, like No Country for Old Men. The thoughts that there was a guy like that really walking around who could just murder because I'm principal. That guy was horrifying, dude. And the haircut made it worse. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, that was, yeah.
Oh.
You know what? We could do
That
a
was a
makeover,
travesty.
Anton. We could do a makeover.
Put a little
That could be
perm in
really
it,
fun.
you know?
Surprise, you're on Surprise
Dorothy
Makeover
Hamill
or whatever
looking
that
ass.
show is.
So the scary
Anyway,
movie
Holly, go ahead.
that I was in college was a student film, and it was called What Have They Done with Grandma?
They put her in a nursing home. Did I just
Wow.
spoil it?
So the story is Grandma is a retired serial killer, and a group
Oh.
of delinquent kids break
Intriguing.
into her house to have a party.
She
and-
breaks out the old
She comes out of retirement,
nice.
and so there
That's
is a
kinda funny,
scene where, so it's always, how did you die, right? Like that's always like the question in the
Yes,
horror movie
yes.
is, how did you die? And my sister and I have talked about that. My sister's like, if I was a serial killer, my sister's like, if I was a serial killer, I would use an ice pick because no
Oh,
one would
wow.
ever find the weapon and I would be acquitted. So I was like, well, you're pretty
And
smart.
it would be in the freezer the whole time.
Exactly. So the way that I died in this movie by the hand of Grandma is she sicked her dog on me. Her dog like attacked me and killed me. And then
wow.
she cuts me up into pieces. So this
Makes
is a
chili?
student. Exactly. Yeah. So yeah, pretty gross. Anyway, the dog. So this is a student film. There's no budget. There's no stunt
Yeah.
person. So I have to
Right.
get attacked by a dog. Now it's December, and in the scene I'm making out with this guy because it's always something sexual that happens right before you
Yes.
die. Like that
Yes.
is
Yeah.
the sin.
That's
right?
the standard.
That's
Yeah.
the standard. If you're being skanky, you're gonna get killed. That's just
Yeah.
a
That's
given.
just how it is.
So I just have like underwear and a wife beater top on in the
Yeah.
Oh,
scene.
you had it coming.
I had it
Yeah.
coming. You know what?
You and that wife beater. Oh my gosh.
That's right. Well, we shot it in December, so it's cold. And anyway, so I have to run away from Grandma, and I run to hide. Why do we always go down into dark spaces to hide in the horror movies? Come on.
I don't know.
So I go into the
I have no
garage.
idea.
I hide in the garage, and then she sicks the dog on me. So we have to shoot this scene where the dog is like eating my face. And
Oh my gosh.
this is just someone's dog. And they're like, this is This is
They pour
this
peanut
is
butter on you.
Rambo. This is Rambo the dog. Hello, Rambo. Nice to meet you. And it's this huge black dog. And so they put cheese all over my body for the dog to eat the cheese. And then they put the sound effects in later. So I'm lying there with my face inside a dog's mouth. Like his massive mouth is just like
hot dog breath.
My face over and over and over again. I made out with this dog, and and that was my debut. What have they done with
Do you like dogs?
I do like dogs. Luckily,
she
I'm
does
not
now.
afraid of dogs.
Right, thank goodness.
We're very intimate friends, Rambo and I.
My brother studied theater and stuff like that, and he's done like little commercials and stuff. But recently, he's into like the horror genre, right? And he does his own. I'll post a picture of it. He does his own makeup, and he went to what is it, Zombie Fest or something con, Horror Con, whatever it is, down here in Atlanta. And that's the only time he's been to Atlanta. It was to go to this thing, not to visit me. So we hung out all night. It was around Halloween a couple of years ago, and he met the guy who does the makeup for The Walking Dead. I can't remember his name.
Wow. That guy.
He got a chance to meet him and talk to him. So he's all nerding out or whatever. But he had the whole zombie latex makeup on. You know what I mean? I'll show you pictures. It looks absolutely horrifying. And he does the sound effects. He's got the teeth, the contact lenses, the whole shebang.
Oh, wow.
And anyway, but yeah, that's kind of his thing.
That's crazy.
And, he was on some web type horror movie and he's telling me the names of the other characters, and I'm making fun of them. And he's like, come on, dude, this is serious to me. You know what I mean? I'm like, are you getting paid, man? He's like, no, they pay your gas and stuff like that, but it's not really, they're not making any money. And I'm like, well, you having fun? He's like, yes, I'm having fun. There was like vampires and stuff in it. So it's kind of one of those things where he was doing some of the makeup for other people. That's his artistic thing. You know what I mean? The turning into something else. But that's way too much work. I just want to show up, grab a mic, talk for a little bit, and then get the hell out of there. You know what I mean? I don't want to get up at 3 a.m. to put makeup on for 4 hours. You know what I mean? I don't want to do all that.
No.
So,
Can you do a zombie impersonation, Carla? Do you have a zombie?
not really, no. But his is pretty dead on. You know. You? What's your thing?
A zombie?
Yeah. Guys, for people that are listening,
It's like you're choking. You're like,
Holly looks like she belongs on an album cover or something, right? And she's trying to be a zombie.
she's singing heavy metal music.
You're not fooling anybody.
Shelby.
She's like, I'm like, all right, if that's a zombie, then yeah, go ahead and bite me because I'm not running anywhere.
It's not happening.
Yeah, it's not scary at all.
So Holly, we're gonna have to start wrapping things up, but I promised you a speed round because we want to know you on a deeper level. So I'm gonna ask you like 10 or so questions, and they are quick fire, like quick answer. And some of these we take a minute, we kind of delve into a little bit. But next question: are you ready?
I'm ready. I feel like I'm going to know myself better after this.
You probably will.
Most people do.
Number 1, who's your celebrity crush?
Jack Black. Jack Black.
The funny guy, eh?
I
School
think
Rock?
Tenacious D.
Tenacious D. I think Jack Black is the most brilliant person, funniest person in the entire world. Jack Black, hands down.
I
Mine's
enjoy
Steve Carell, hands down. So
Jack Black. He's kind of funny. Yeah.
he is.
Nacho
He's good.
Libre
He's,
is one of my favorite movies.
Oh my gosh.
So stupid.
Shallow
Okay.
Hal. He went to see a hypnotist in Shallow Hal.
That's right.
Oh, that's right.
Banana
that was a good
Hands.
movie. Good message. Yes. Let's see. Okay. Oh, here's if you were a thing, what would you be?
I would be one of those rain sticks.
Oh
you ever
yeah,
heard
you
them?
flip it over and it goes
with the beans in it.
Yes, I like that.
like fluid
okay.
and auditory is changing, it affects other people. I would be a rain stick.
Yes. Nice.
I don't
like
think
that.
I've ever heard that
I like
before.
that. A rain stick?
No. Like that answer.
Oh, no, it's very unique. Well,
Yeah.
Holly is very unique, so
Come
there
on.
you go.
There's a
we
lot
didn't
of layers to this onion.
We didn't
We've
expect
only
anything
scratched
less.
the
Yes.
surface.
Right. We just got that brown layer off. The good
Is that
stuff's
why,
underneath,
is that why I'm
right?
tearing up?
Maybe purple. I think mine might be a purple
Oh,
onion.
okay. Okay.
Goes good with guacamole.
Oh, yes, it does.
One of those Vidalia
Food and
onions.
movies. That's what we do here.
Oh, yeah.
If I came to your house, what would you cook for me?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Or have cooked for me.
So sorry.
Oh, I'm just terrible cook. I'm just me. I told you, objects and I did not make friends, including food objects. I don't know how to combine them. I'm also vegan, which cooking vegan is like rocket science if you're trying to make anything, heroic
That tastes good.
that tastes good.
Well, let me
Yes.
counter with this. What's one thing that people go, hey, can you make your blank? Because they
Guacamole.
rock.
Guacamole. Yeah, I
Oh,
can.
yeah.
I can get down with that.
Consistently execute guacamole without fail, as long as the avos are good. The guac
Yes.
is good.
Gotcha.
Yes.
I got you. It's guacamole and chili.
I'll bring the
Everything
chips.
else, I suck. Yes, bring the chips, Carlos.
That sounds delicious. Actually. I can go for some guac right about now.
What was the next one? Oh, so what animal sound are you like spot on with?
Peacock.
And we need an example.
Thank you.
I have no
That
idea
was-
what a peacock sounds
that
like,
was
but thank
dead
you for
on,
that.
I think. I don't know. But
Now, Carlos, you're gonna have to change that to something different, and that's her answer.
it's hilarious.
What is your mating call? Okay. Let's make this the last one. What is an expensive yet silly thing that you own?
Oh, I don't know if it's silly. The most expensive thing that I ever bought for myself was a pair of Louboutin shoes.
Oh,
So
the
red
black, or
bottom.
the red heel. Yeah.
Yeah, red bottom shoes. So
Nice.
I went to a dental conference one time and there was a woman up on stage. She was a phenomenal speaker and I was staring at her shoes the whole time and she had those red bottom Louboutin heels. And I was like,
Yes.
I am going to be a dental speaker with Louboutin shoes on. And I manifested these shoes, man. I went to Saks Fifth Avenue. I tried them on. I walked around in them. I'm like, all right, well, now all I need to do is get booked for the talk. And then I'm going to use the money from the talk to buy these shoes.
Right. I'm buying it on credit.
And that's exactly what happened. That's exactly what happened.
So are they comfortable?
So I have 3 pairs now. I have
Oh, dang. Ooh, she's
Woo.
fancy.
Hello.
this girl is
Hello.
on fire. I have black, nude, and white. So depending on the
Okay.
outfit. Now the
Yes.
nude ones are the most gorgeous, but I can only
Yes.
stand in them for about 30 minutes before I lose sensation in my toes. So short talks or photographs, they are spectacular. The black ones are the
okay.
most comfortable. I could stand all day in them because they have that bigger wedge heel.
Oh, gotcha.
Those are my go-to if I'm on stage. I'll wear those black ones. Yeah, Louboutins.
I feel like if you're gonna pay that much for shoes, they should feel like clouds, no matter what. Am I wrong? Like with that? Shouldn't that be a thing?
I think it's the look. It's like
I
Will
know,
Smith with a
but come
cigar.
on.
Just for the look. You don't light it. You know what I mean?
It'll
not running
flare
a
up your
marathon in 'em.
plantar fasciitis.
and they do.
Anyway, so-
and they do.
Yeah, do the yeah.
they're
My
worth
foot
it.
guy.
Gosh, those
My foot
shoes
guy.
are sexy.
I am sure they are, but my foot guy said you cannot wear high heels anymore. This was a few years ago, and I said, okay, so pretty much, I wear a little small kitten heel. Do they make Louis Vuittons with a little tiny heel? Because I could probably pull that
they
off.
They make them in sneakers. They've got all kinds. You could definitely get Louboutins with a smaller heel. But okay, so I have the secret to plantar fasciitis healing.
Oh, please
please drop it. Yeah.
The orthotics aren't cutting it anymore.
So I ran the New York City Marathon, and
ooh, nice.
That was a bucket list item. I've been doing a lot of bucket lists.
In your Louis Vuitton high heels?
I did not wear them in Louis Vuitton shoes.
Okay.
That would be one for the
That
books.
would be something.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be a world record, like Guinness thing, I feel like.
All right. So, please finish. Yeah. Hit me with some info. What do you got?
So I ran the marathon and I did well. And then a couple weeks after I ran the marathon, I went trail running. And I screwed up my foot so bad on that short run. And I was fine after the marathon. I ran the marathon because I won the lottery. There's a lottery for this.
Oh, yeah. You just put in for it and they're like,
I was like,
you win.
Yeah, why not? And they're like, you're in. And it's like 2% of people. They're like, you're in. I'm like, oh my God. Oh my God.
You win the opportunity to run for like 4.5 hours straight. Congrats.
I was like, I don't know how to do this. It got done. It taught me a lot about myself. But so when I screwed up my foot and it was bad, I got bad plantar fasciitis. I went to an acupuncturist and she told me, it's not your foot, it's your calves. Your calves are so tight. They've frozen up so bad that it's creating plantar fasciitis in your foot.
That might be me. Yeah.
So I went to an acupuncturist and she just stuck me with needles all over my calves and that healed me.
Shut up.
Yeah.
I got some needles. Maybe I'll try that. I don't know.
Huh.
We do
At any rate,
we do not recommend self-acupuncture here on Off Your Flosser.
Yeah. Disclaimer. Don't do this at home.
Yeah,
Holly,
don't do what Sandy does. Yeah.
Yeah, don't do me. I do me, you don't do me. I did. Okay, anyway. So Holly, I loved having you on today. I think it's amazing. Carlos, you can splash up the website in the links for Dental Avengers. The event is coming in December. We're going to put more information out there for it. Holly, thank you for heading this up because we all know that it is much needed within the dental community and, I mean, pretty much the world. So any final last words? You've got 15 seconds. Make it good. No.
Whatever brings you joy, whether it's zombies or peacocks or acupuncture or Louboutin shoes or horror movies, whatever it is, go and put it in your calendar. Because why would we deprive ourselves a day of joy when we can have it? And we can do a lot, but we can have so much more joy today by being intentional.
Amen.
Capes
I
on
love it.
2021.
Capes, yep.
Capes on
2021. And one last question. Which podcast is your absolute favorite?
I mean, obviously. Hello. Off Your Flosser. I can't get enough.
No pressure, but thank you. That was super sweet.
Here's your 20.
Besides Off Your Flosser, so Coffee Break French. Because I speak French.
I listened to that.
I love Coffee Break languages. If you want to learn a language, I learned French just by listening to Coffee Break French. And
I love it.
I still listen to it. He's great.
So that was episode 141, Holly Ann Mitchell, Dental Avengers. We've got the wellness event coming up in December. The links will be in because Carlos is awesome at making sure that happens.
We'll talk about
Thank
it more.
Thank you for being a guest.
Of course.
Yeah, we're gonna put it all up in your face so you can't forget. So
thanks
Holly,
for being a part.
Thank you.
I'm so excited.
Thank you.
Happy
Happy
Saturday.
Saturday.
Us this morning. And,
we hope you. Yes.
Have a great
put some
rest
joy
of
in
the
your
weekend.
Every day.
There
yes.
You go.
And of course, as always, go floss yourselves.
Go floss yourselves. Have a good one.